All right, hello everyone. My name is Sarah Keeley. I am the local foods coordinator with Buchanan County ISU Extension and Outreach. And we are here at Denny's Pumpkin Patch. This is not the actual patch, but it is their farm store at their house. And so Denny is going to walk us through a little bit about his farming operation. And we get to see all of the varieties of awesome pumpkins he has. All right. So, Denny, would you like to explain a little history of the patch?
Okay. Well, I'm Dennis Shannon, Denny's Pumpkin Patch. I started this in 1996 just as a idea that I wanted to have a pile of pumpkins in my yard. And so I planted them, and my wife said, well, you can't just have a pile of pumpkins. And so then the store area here kind of evolved from that. And but it's a family hobby. It's not just it's my hobby, but it's a family venture, and everybody gets involved in it all throughout the season. And there's something planting and the weeding that's mostly up to me, but I do have usually help from my kids when it comes to planting. So, but we can walk through the different varieties. We can, it starts out. I usually get my seeds ordered early spring. I don't save seeds from year to year. I get new seed every year because it's treated. It's for insecticides and whatnot for when you plant them, so the bugs don't chew them up. And usually early to mid-June plant. I use an old corn planter to plant my seeds, and so that I get my rows straight and I can cultivate it that way. The ground is usually worked up a few weeks prior to that. You can let the weeds grow and then work them in, and then right before I plant again, they hopefully more of the seeds that's laying there from the weeds are sprouted, so I will work those in again just before I plant. So it's pretty well a clean field when I plant in mid-June. And so once the seed's planted, usually it takes about a week, maybe 10 days, depending on the weather, for the seed, the sprouts to come out of the ground. And from there, you got to start watching for bugs. Cucumber beetles, as they're known, and also the corn rootworm, I believe, or corn borer or something. They're little yellow and green, black striped bug. They will eat the plants when they're real small, so that and then they'll just kill them. If they get a few leaves on them, then they'll usually last longer. But once we get past that, then it's just a matter of cultivating to keep the weeds knocked down. I can cultivate between the rows, but right down the row itself, between plants, has to be done with a hoe. The old-fashioned way. That's a lot of work. So when it's hot, and humid outside, you go out there with a hoe and just spend some time. It gets me up and doing something.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
How many acres do you have?
This year I have 3 acres of stuff. I've done as much as 5 to 6. I've cut back through the years. Just you figure out how to condense stuff down. You figure out what's really not worth the time to plant, and what the space it takes up. And, from there, like I say, it just all summer long you just have to watch for bugs. It gets to a point you cannot get through the field anymore with a tractor or anything else. So at that point, it's kind of on its own. Funguses, usually you have to watch for funguses. I haven't really had to spray for fungicide or anything for I don't know if I ever have, really. But you need to watch for it. And last year, the bugs really attacked my plants just at harvest time. They didn't attack the plants, they attacked the fruit. They actually peeled. I can't do it all myself. I have a crew that comes out, and usually on a Saturday, I have them just cutting everything off the vines. I'm open for 5 weekends before Halloween. The 6th weekend before Halloween is harvest weekend. We cut everything off the vine on one day, on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the crew comes out again and we pick everything up. It's more efficient. I got a tractor and wagons. If everybody's just picking up and putting on a wagon, you don't have to worry about cutting it off. So once it's on the wagons, it's usually, I can manage it myself if I need to cover them because it's getting cold or anything like that. It's manageable. This year, I did have a little issue because they're stuck out in the field and I can't get to the wagons to pull them out. But I've made it this far, so I'll be okay. But so once they're on the wagons, like I say, they're safe, and then I haul them to town. On my way to town with the jack-o'-lanterns, I usually go through the car wash and wash and wax the pumpkins. It's a good way to clean them up, and they really look nice when they come out of the car wash. I get some funny looks at the car wash.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. And then I bring them in here in town, park the wagons, and the people can come in and pick off the wagons. Or we display them around the ground too, and they can pick them up off the ground for picking out their pumpkins or their fall decorations. I plant a lot of varieties, not just of the jack-o'-lanterns. I mean, there's several varieties of jack-o'-lanterns. Some of them you plant for the deep ribs, some of them you plant for the color, some of them you plant for the gigantic stems. Some people like short round pumpkins, some like big tall ones. Everybody's idea of a perfect pumpkin is different. It can be the ugliest pumpkin in the field, and that's their perfect pumpkin. And that's kind of what it's about. I plant pink ones, blue ones, white ones, red ones, just everything you can think of. I like the variety. I don't want just jack-o'-lanterns. That's not fun for me. I want to have fun with it too. So some of the new things, this year the new things are over here on the floor. They're called mini warts. They're just a real bumpy pumpkin small pumpkin. They really went over big this year. There's been a lot of people, really like them. But, you have the old standby smooth orange ones also that people usually refer to as pie pumpkins, for decorating around the house or whatever. Then those are still very popular, but it's just another variety. This right here is actually a squash. It's called a red warty thing. It's probably an heirloom variety squash, but it's something different. We have tall, skinny ones, and these shorter, smaller munchkin pumpkins. Kids like them. They fit their hands real well. They last longer. There's the orange ones, and then there's the white ones also of those. You get bigger
And
white
white.
ones. There's just so many varieties. And gourds, there's so many different varieties of gourds. This is called a crown of thorns gourd. There's daisy gourds. The name's getting by me right now. I don't know what the name of that one is. We do offer this year apples. I don't grow them, but it fits right in with the fall decor. There's an orchard down by Kwaski that we sell them for them. This is an autumn wings gourd. They're come in all colors, shapes, sizes. They're actually called autumn wings swan. Sometimes they will get more of a swan look to them. This one, maybe a little bit. This one maybe a little bit more like a swan look.
What is the difference between a pumpkin and a gourd? If you know.
Guess I don't really know that.
Okay,
the
that's
exact
okay.
answer to that. I could tell you something, but probably wouldn't be right. Just my own opinion, I guess. But the munchkin pumpkins come in a lot of different colors, schemes. This is actually a hooligan. It's called. It's more of the orange, the white, yellow kind of combination. These here, they got more defined stripe. Little punky mons, they're called. Again, they're just different colors. Different people like different colored pumpkins, and shapes, and so there's just so many varieties to pick from. We can go over here and look at the squash. The buttercup squash is the green the green squash, sometimes they have the bottom protrusion, that sticks out the bottom. That's pretty definitive of a buttercup squash. The green and yellow striped delicata squash. A lot of older people like those because they're smaller. It's not such a huge meal. They'll cook them somewhat first and then cut them in half and take the seeds out, finish cooking them. My mother-in-law especially likes them because they're small and they do have very good flavor. The brown or tan colored one is butternut. It's a very popular variety, been around for years. The very colorful one, carnival squash, a lot like they're in the same family as the acorn squash, but their flesh is a little stringier like the acorns, but has very good flavor. I sell a lot of those just for decorations. Mm-hmm. People like to decorate with them. They're really pretty. Mm-hmm. And actually, the temperature always has a factor on how the color comes out. The ambient temperature outside. During the summer, hot weather tends to make them a little more colorful. The green ones are the acorn squash, very common squash. Mm-hmm. The yellow one is a spaghetti squash. Very good. You can, cook them same way you do any other squash. Cut them in half, bake them till they're soft, and then when you take a fork and start picking at the flesh, it comes out like noodles. Mm-hmm. The orange ones on the end are amber cup squash. Very tasty. Same family as the buttercup squash. Different color, maybe just a little different flavor, but same consistency inside of them. Some of the other things we have here on the shelf. The pink ones, pink pumpkins are porcelain doll pumpkins. They become very popular here in the last few years. Mm-hmm. The birdhouse gourds that will dry down. You can make birdhouses with them. I have some around here, dried out, that we've used for demonstration. Even the pie pumpkins, right here this is a darling pumpkin. It's tall and skinny. This one here's a flat soul. You can see it's a little shorter, mm-hmm. squattier. This here's called Sanchez. It's just got warts all over it. There are so many varieties that you can plant, so many to pick from. It's just a lot of fun actually when you're trying to figure out what you want to plant. Mm-hmm. Indian corns, several varieties, colors, shapes, sizes. Broom corn, where you can make the corn brooms out of. In the old days, and if you go down to Living History Farms, you can see them do this. They will actually strip the seeds off and make a broom out of the little straw brooms is what mm-hmm. They make them. So mm-hmm. we have some bittersweet. We offer that. Mm-hmm. It's just this is old school decoration. I mean, that's what people used to use for decorating when there wasn't as much stuff you could buy. Mm-hmm. Now everything you can just buy it all. But back in the older days, that's what they had. So
yeah. Can we look at outside?
We can go out and look around. Stuff is covered right at the moment. When it gets down to 32 degrees or lower, I get concerned because some of this stuff has got thinner skin, and if it gets frozen, you'll see the frozen spot on it. Now, a light frost at 32 won't really hurt things, but it might discolor it a little bit. People don't want to buy it if it's been a little bit discolored. But these odd-shaped things are called lunch lady gourds. There's I don't make up the names. There's so many different. They come in different shapes, sizes, colors. Again, I've kind of several have been picked through. They may not have the selection left that I may have once had, but so there's a lot of variety there. Underneath, I got a few mums that I pick up that I offer just because I think they look nice. They just add to it. This is another variety it's a little bigger variety of the mini warts pumpkin. Goosebumps, I believe it's called. And just a little larger pumpkin, but it's got the same type of bumps on it that that the mini worts have. Here's a green lunch lady gourd. You know, they're good for decorating. They're not necessarily good for eating, but they're fun. People like to put them out front of their house to decorate with. It's just something cool. Here you can kind of see. I have the porcelain doll. This is an Indian doll. You can see the slight difference in coloration. The pink shiny ones and a little more orange in the Indian doll. Again, this is another flatzo. You can see they're just kind of flat and rounded out.
What's the green one?
The green one is a basket gourd. They will dry down, and you can craft people like to make things once they're dried out of them. They get real hard and light. I mean, they're light as a feather.
Okay.
Again, there's a snake gourd down here in the ground too. It's the same type of a gourd, you know, the same family, but just a different shape. Kids think they're cool.
Let's see. So you have jack-o'-lantern pumpkins over there?
Jack-o'-lanterns under some of these other wagons here, which we can go uncover, and we'll start up on the hill. All jack-o'-lanterns have a spot where they lay on the ground. You know, everything has to rest on the ground, so you know, it's the dirty spot. Clean them up best I can, but they probably could be scrubbed a little more and cleaned up a little more. But there's several different varieties here. You can see how some have the deep wrinkles, some are smooth. Even the different shades of orange, if you can see that in the pictures. It's just different varieties. The green one here is one that's just not as mature. They do continue to turn orange after you pick them. This one here will just keep turning orange. As long as there's some orange in it, it will keep turning orange. That's been my experience with them. But different handles. You can see the Mrs. Wrinkles have a little shorter, not as firm of a handle, where this one here is got a real firmly attached handle. I've had one here in town. I don't think I have any right now. Wolf pumpkins. Their stems are probably 5 inches around, and you know, I had one that was, you know, this big around and this tall on a pumpkin. It went out of here this past weekend. It's just, again, you know, the genetics of the pumpkin. You don't just go find a pumpkin seed and plant it and think you're going to get a big jack-o'-lantern or grow a giant pumpkin.
Yeah.
The giant pumpkins are a whole hybrid seed all on their own. You know, it's been genetically, you know, not genetically modified, but they keep crossbreeding, you know, to keep growing them bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And again, they're fun, but they take a lot of time. So I don't do the giant pumpkins.
Okay.
Over here, this is kind of the fun wagon here. A lot of varieties. The pink ones. This is called a flat white Boreford. It's just a flat white pumpkin. They're kind of unique. A lot of them get used to stack the Cinderella pumpkins. You take a Cinderella pumpkin, one of these. And these blue ones are actually a Jarradale. They're actually native to Australia.
Oh.
It's actually a squash, but they get used for pumpkins. People stack them up to decorate. Pink ones in there, gray ones, whatever. One other thing I like to do is I like to put my seeds for my blue pumpkins and my pink ones beside each other. You can see some of the ones over on the other side here, the blue and the pink, they'll be a little cross-pollinating when they're close by each other. I think it's cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe some people like them all pink, maybe some people like them all blue. Mm-hmm. I like the cross-pollinated ones also. So,
cool. And these spots here are just bugs?
Yep, a bug has bitten it. Generally, is what that is. It's just like a scab, a scar.
Okay.
At some point, the bug just took a little bite out of the skin, and
okay.
And like I said, last year, I couldn't even bring my pumpkins to town that looked like that because there was no skin left on them at all.
Yeah.
They were so bad. The bugs were so bad.
Wow.
Here I just have a squash wagon.
Yeah.
A lot of it's not, this has not been washed. We come out and we get some, and then we take them in the garage and we wash them.
Okay.
So that when people buy them, they can get clean ones. Some people like to pick them right off the wagon, and they don't care. But
okay.
All the different varieties that we have inside.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about the banana pink jumbo squash when we were inside. It's just another variety of squash.
Interesting.
Yep, they just make for something different to look at. All different shapes and sizes.
Yeah. All right, so I don't see any questions at all. So I think we'll probably sign off since do you have a couple customers here?
Yeah, people start showing up.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for stopping.
Yeah.
Hope if anybody's got questions, I'm always willing to talk about it,
Okay.
So it's just kind of fun.